Welcome to On Blast. On Blast podcast is Duluth, Minnesota's first culturally plus and culturally controversy podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Green, and I go by Dree, and this is On Blast. On Blast podcast is a production of the Nero Blast Entertainment music label and the great people at On Blast Podcast, LLC. Click, like, share, subscribe. It costs you no money unless you're acting funny. And what we're going to do right now is what we do every episode, and that's bring recognition to these sponsors and these organizations. Pay some bills quick, you know what I mean? We're going to get this out of the way first so we can jump on into On Blast. And this is episode number 9, people. Episode number 9. I'm already up to 9 episodes already. It's crazy. Like I told you, every episode to me is monumental. Damn it. Episode number 9. Episode number 9 is brought to you by the great people at Drip 101 Clothing. For all your designer clothing needs, big or small, check them out. They're centrally located, heart of the city, right downtown, next to the Legacy Glass Shop. 30 West 1st Street, I believe, is their address. And they carry brands like Miss Me, Aku, Hustle Gang, Evolution. That's the great people at Drip 101 Clothing. My next sponsor, I'm well aware we're out of season with them, but I'm going to keep using them because they're still paying me, and that's the great, hold on to this number. That's the great people at the North Shore Snow Blasters Snow Removal Service. For all your snow removal needs, you know what I mean? When you wake up and you can't get out to the street or can't even open your door or get to the garage or do any of that, call them. They're the pros. They are only servicing the Duluth and the Superior locations. So give them a call for estimate and a quote, and you can do so at 218-464-1525. That's 218-464-1525. That's the great people at the North Shore Snow Blasters Snow Removal Service. And lastly is the House of Healing. This is my presenting sponsor, my big boy sponsor, okay? The House of Healing is the men's sober home of Duluth. You know, they're changing lives there, you know what I mean? And they're definitely a staple in the community. I got nothing but good to say about them, you know what I mean? And if you may need their services at all at the House of Healing, go ahead and give them a call, see what's up. If you could, talk to a house supervisor and see how, you know what I mean, if they got room for you there or where they can send you. Again, that's the great people at the House of Healing. You could call them at 218-343-0460, 218-343-0460, or email them at houseofhealingduluth@gmail.com. Again, the House of Healing, not only, they sponsor the podcast, but they also sponsor our Sober Shoutout, which we have one today as well. Again, click, like, share, subscribe, and now we're going to jump on into On Blast. Everyone that has been following, supporting, subscribing, you know what I mean, checking it out, the channel, welcome to the channel, and I want to thank you as well. We're going to jump on in NBA Finals. Okay, so that all wrapped up. I told you guys in the last episode that the Denver Nuggets had the best assembled team going into the playoffs, beating teams like Boston, beating teams like Milwaukee. I knew they were going to be serious and they were going to go deep into the playoffs early on. You know what I mean? It's their first franchise championship, so it's like this is number 1 for them in franchise history. So shout out to them. The best team won. You know what I mean? We can't take shit away from them. We can't take nothing away. You know what I mean? You can't say anything about how it, they dismembered all teams they faced. You know what I mean? It seemed like Jamal Murray didn't miss a shot, and Joker was, getting a triple-double every fucking night. So shout out to them. They deserve to be there. You know what I mean? The whole team, and you know what I mean? The series only went 5 games. The final score was 94-89. You know what I mean? And it really didn't seem like it mattered. It made no fucking difference if they were away or home. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets with their first championship. Some music news. Hit Boy didn't think Niggas in Paris would go diamond, but it did. Last week, the whole, the duo song with Kanye West and Jay-Z, Niggas in Paris, been out for years. I'm pretty sure y'all, everyone's heard it somewhere. It's shot up on the ringtone game too. Anyway, finally went diamond. Last week they let it be known that, Hit Boy, he was behind that. That's his beat, you know what I mean? So that went diamond. He said he really didn't think that song would go diamond, but it did, so shout out to them. Of course, Jay-Z and Kanye absolutely killed that track. It's probably one of my favorite songs with both of them on, Niggas in Paris, but yeah, shout out to them and that whole piece of work and what they donated to hip-hop going diamond. Kudos to them. Question. Did anyone else see this Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti III fight? This exhibition fight? You know what I mean? If you did, like, okay. I mean, I watched it too. And like Conor McGregor said, I was more engaged with the fight that happened, you know, after the fight than the actual fight. And when I watch this thing, to me it's like, okay, Floyd, people still obviously are gonna pay money to see you fucking fight, you know, someone that has zero experience or no experience, or is that crazy? They're still gonna pay you. My thing is, if you wanted to stay in boxing, you should have stayed. You should have ran it up to 55-0, just really surpassing Rocky Marciano's record. You know what I mean? Because he's fighting. I've never even heard of John Gotti III. I've heard of Antonio Gotti, you know, who he faced in his earlier years, and he made Antonio Gotti like pretty much retire after that fight. But who, you know, he's fighting the Conor McGregors and this is and that's, and you know what I mean. The John Gotti III, you know what I mean? I'm not really familiar with these boxers, nor have I really researched them really, or did my homework on them. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But it just seems like Floyd, you know, if he misses the ring that much, he should have stayed in there and really, like, you know, continue to make box office numbers out of pay-per-view and all that. But shout out to that whole exhibition fight that absolutely went nowhere. I'm gonna be real with you right now. Like, a scuffle happened, the fight was interrupted. You know what I mean? People from both sides of the corners came out. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be an exhibition fight. I don't know if it was for a charitable event or anything of that nature, but it didn't even. It was like a complete waste of time, really. So my question is, who else seen that shit? Because it's like, what the hell is going on in the world of boxing, you know? Anyway, YNW MELLY trials continue. They played Murder on My Mind in the courtroom. You guys should have seen this shit. First of all, there's something, you know what I mean? Whether he killed his best friend or not, you know, this court case is starting to unravel. Last week, you know what I mean, they played the song Murder on My Mind for the judge in Melly's court, in his court case and whatnot, and you know what I mean, it's like he's laughing though. He's laughing while they're playing this song. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but it's just like these people with money and these, you know, rappers, entertainers, young ones especially, I don't know what the fuck is going on with them. I mean, these situations they get themselves into. We were talking about this the last episode, but as that court case draws more narrower and narrower, it don't look good for him. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You know what I mean? But follow that. Again, his talent side and what he's contributed to hip hop, I love and respect. You know what I mean? Melly's a beast. You know what I mean? But it's like these situations is gonna make it where, like, fuck music, you're not gonna see the light of day, bro, for a minute. So all you can do is hope for the best and expect the worst in that situation. Here's some more news that's a little closer to home. Okay, a Duluth family sues city police over continued racial harassment. And I didn't know too much about this whole situation in the story, so I had to look into it a little more and ask around. Aaron Kirk, who is black, has had at least 100 altercations and interactions with the Duluth Police Department in the last decade. Okay, Aaron Kirk was arrested in the streets in front of his West Duluth home this was back in July of 2020. This happened, and what went down was, it was pretty much an altercation that revolved around, you know what I mean, two angry drivers and road rage. You know what I mean, he was continuously called a racial slur, and you know what I mean, again, these are just two men arguing, jawing back and forth until the cops got there, right? But for some reason, you know, Mr. Kirk, Aaron, is getting processed, handcuffed, back of the car, while the other dude's getting a citation. No punches, no nothing thrown. This dude, Aaron, I guess what they're saying, he didn't have no warrants, no body holds, no nothing on him for him to really be detained outside of, you know what I mean, this situation. But it caused a big ruckus, you know what I mean. He got a citation and I'm going to jail was his You know what I mean? Is what he shared with the newspaper. And Kirk Monday filed a federal lawsuit accusing Duluth leaders and law enforcement officials on ongoing discrimination and profiling based solely on Kirk's race. So we don't know what's going to happen with this. He's filed a federal case on, you know, St. Louis County here and on the law enforcement here. So we'll monitor that and see where it goes. But hold your head, Aaron Kurt. You know what I mean? Like you already know what days we're living in, and you know the BS and you know the one-sidedness around in this, especially in this town, in Duluth, Minnesota, in the Great White North. You know what I mean? But all we can do is play and pray for an even playing field and push that to the utmost. Here's a little more music news. Memphis rapper Gangsta Boo, and I already know you guys know she passed away and whatnot, but we officially got the autopsy on you know why she passed away, and it's sad. You know what I mean? Memphis is, you know, it's crazy down there too. You know what I mean? Memphis is crazy as hell. But away from that whole situation, I'm not even gonna, you know, get into that right now. But Gangsta Boo, born Lola Mitchell. She was 43 years old, and she was found dead on New Year's Day, you know, down there. And her cause of death was for sure now an overdose. And the overdose was containing fentanyl, cocaine, and ethanol, alcohol. Just had too much. A little too much was in her system. And this was all according to her autopsy. You know what I mean? Shout out 3-6. Gangsta Boo, rest in peace. And everything you contribute to hip hop and to Memphis, you know what I mean? You still got, you know, Juicy J and Paul, I want to say, out the whole tandem, out the whole group was like still strong, still doing their thing out here, you know what I mean? Crunchy Black, not as much, not so much, you know what I mean? But R.I.P. to her and whatnot, and it's unfortunate that we had to find out that news on Gangsta Boo. Grandma's Marathon, what I was talking about a few episodes ago, again is June 17, 2023. Reminder, streets and commutes are going to be blocked off. It's going to be busier as hell. Nike, New Balance, and Adidas are in town. I'm going to be working, busy as hell. Again, that's June 17, 2023. We should be having great weather, they're saying, for the marathon, for the 5K, for the half, and for the full. So go ahead and monitor that. And I know on KQDS here and the news station, the local News 6, you could stream that and follow your runner or whoever you want to follow and monitor while you're running this. I thought was pretty cool and thought was newsworthy, but just prepare for it to be busier than fucking hell. And shout out to the runners again. Shout out to the Kenyans. Shout out to everyone else who is in this and whatnot. Stretch, drink water. You know what I mean? Have someone with some Advil at the finish line for you. Again, Grandma's Marathon, June 17, 2023. Here goes a little more music news. Anita Baker just dropped Babyface from her tour. Why? We do not know. We just know that Babyface is not going to be on tour with Anita Baker, who is currently like in the middle of her tour right now. So what she's saying is refunds will be administered and applied if needed. So if people want their money back, who want to go see Babyface now, that is now understanding and knowing that he will not be on tour with her no more, can do so through Ticketmaster and whoever else that they're promoting Anita Baker's tour through. Again, what we're gonna do here again is just artists near and far. If you want to work on your music and harness your craft as an artist, and you want to take your music level to the next level, you know what I mean? You gotta come check out the people at Neuroblast Entertainment. Okay, they're not far. If you're in town here, they're 6317 Grand Avenue. You could give them a call at 218-389-1899. That's 218-389-1899, or give them an email at infinitemoney612@gmail.com. They're the pros. Be prepared when you come here. You know what I mean? You got to start somewhere. You might as well start, you know, with your best option, and that's with Neuroblast Entertainment here in town. You know what I mean? And they could help you out with promotion, recording time, artist management, everything that you want and need to start pushing you in the direction that you need to go to as an artist, where you want to go. They can help you. That's Neuroblast Entertainment music label. And right now it is time for our sober shout out. Our sober shout out is brought to you by the House of Healing. The House of Healing is changing lives. Again, you know what I mean? And if you need to call them, you can do so at 218-343-0460 or email them at the House of Healing Duluth at gmail.com. And today's sober shout out goes to Cable Sharp of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Shout out to Cable and all your progression and what you've been doing thus far. I know you've been sober for some years, and this is somebody I know. Me and Cable, let me tell you, used to be in all type of sticky situations around town and whatnot, and kicking up all type of fucking dumb shit. And look at us now. But shout out to you, Cable. I'm glad to see you're still doing well. Hit me up, man. Hit me up if you ever want to, like, you know, whatever, get together or go check out a Twins game or a T-Wolves game or something like that. I'm gonna ride down on you. Shout out to you again, Cable Sharp, and your sobriety. And that sober shout out was brought to you by the great people at the House of Healing. Call them again if you need to, 218-343-0460. Email them at the House of Healing Duluth at gmail.com. That's all the time we had today. We're going to keep you updated with what we got, and you know what I mean, keep things relevant and whatnot. So again, shout out to the House of Healing, the Drip 101 Clothing, the North Shore Snow Blaster Snow Removal Service, and we want to give a special shout out to the great people at the Legacy Glass Shop. They're allies with the podcast and Drip 101, and they hook us up all the time. Shout out to them. Check them out for all your smoking and glass needs. You already know where they're located. Stay sucker free, stay out of harm's way. We're gonna see you next time, and it's just like that. JK. See you guys, be safe, and stay blessed.